Hello and welcome back to Tommy's Top Picks Weekly Roundup podcast episode 186. I'm your host Tommy, joined by John.
How's it going?
It's been a week. It's been a long week. Didn't play any cards, but looked at some cards and went down an MMO rabbit hole. So we're going to talk about some MMOs.
Okay.
Just real quick at the beginning, and then we'll get into card stuff.
Yep.
Since I see you have nothing either.
I have nothing. I was gonna play Magic yesterday, but I was not feeling well because this is my busy season, and I am definitely burning the candle at both ends. And I was like, you know what? I want to play Magic, but also I'm exhausted.
Yeah, that's fair. Health comes first.
Yeah. I have another long week this week, so I do not want to get myself sick right before a week of travel and stuff. So.
Fair. So I have had an itch to play MMOs, but I've not had people to play them with. So, been bouncing around between old school RuneScape, regular RuneScape, and WoW. It always ends up back at WoW. But was really enjoying old school RuneScape because it brought the nostalgia back, right?
Mm-hmm.
From when I was a kid and the origins of me chopping trees and mining rocks at no end. And I was doing an Iron Man version in that, which is kind of cool. It's a game mode where when you create your character, you basically are saying that I'm going to do everything myself. I'm not going to accept any free trades. I'm not going to be able to buy things from the stores. Like all the gear, I'm going to make it myself or get it from a boss or...
Now, does that mean soloing everything, or do you go and find parties to do stuff? I don't know exactly.
You can. Like, okay. You can join up with other Iron Mans or other random people, but... and there's also group Iron Man, which is kind of cool, where you can only trade within your group as you go. And then it's also trying not to die, because then you lose a step, because it's like hardcore Iron Man. And then if you die, it goes to regular Iron Man, I think.
Oh. And I assume there's some sort of bragging rights or...
Yeah, basically it's...
Yeah, if you make it through to something. I don't know. What is it, to max level?
No, it's just as far as you can get. You'll always be listed as an Iron Man. But it just limits you in... like people can't just give you stuff.
Gotcha. So what was the rabbit hole then? Or is this
yeah, that's part of it. So I got lost in that for a bit, and then I was like, this game doesn't respect my time.
Nope, most games don't.
And then because it's like this the way the old map was designed, like there's never an anvil and a furnace in the same city. So like if you're doing mining and making a bunch of ore and then smelting it down, it's a journey and you got to go to multiple places, opposed to RuneScape 3, which is the current iteration of the game, where everything's the skill progression's much easier, but goes higher. But then the more I played RuneScape 3, the more I saw the like pay to win kind of stuff that was in it. Yeah. And everyone running around with it's what I like about RuneScape is you can look at the gear and see progression, right?
Yep.
Like in WoW, that's lost as well, with transmog, because you can see like a level 10 running around with like full tier gear because they can transmog it from a previous character.
Got it.
In RuneScape 3, it's everyone's running around with cool looking gear, and it's just, I don't know. It's very...
I have a question because I'm looking this up to try to see what you're talking about. RuneScape 3, it's not actually called that?
Or no, it's just called RuneScape.
Oh, I see. Is it just
like on Steam, it's called RuneScape, and then there's another game on Steam called Old School RuneScape.
Got it. Because RuneScape was way before Steam existed.
Yeah.
That was the way.
But it was added to Steam, and there's achievements now and stuff.
Got it. Okay.
So I tried both Old School and regular. Started with Old School, went to regular, went back to Old School.
Well, that's a fun journey of nostalgia.
Yeah.
I have to say, I'm doing a similar thing. I'm playing a survival MMO, or not MMO, a survival game that's a lot like the other ones we've played,
Mm-hmm.
except it's very much reminiscent of Half-Life. Like even
Oh,
the
okay.
sounds they use are the sounds that Half-Life used that they open source so other people could use it. So you get the like weird, like if you know, you know. If you played Half-Life, you know the sound of like the health meter thing, and
Yeah.
they just have
Yeah.
these very unique sounds from a very 90s time, even though it was after the 90s. It just feels like 90s gaming basically. The level design is very similar, and it is so convoluted. No hand holding because that's how it was back then. Like level design,
Oh yeah, there's
like
no hand holding in
grew.
RuneScape. Yeah.
Yeah, it grew after that period, but before that period, most level design was based on how maze creators made mazes, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the levels were confusing and hard to navigate. No light guide. You know how in modern games, like there'll be a bright light, and
Oh
that's
yeah. Yeah.
kind of they try to get you to go towards the
Yeah.
light. If you go towards the light, you generally are going the right way. In modern design, well, they didn't do that back then, and this one sticks with that. So I'm playing with my buddy, and both of us are constantly like, "Where the heck am I?
Yeah.
Like, I'm lost again." It's huge though. It's fun. Ambiotic factor. If you like survival games, you want to throw back to the kind of 90s gaming. It's very good. It's very long. We were like really far into it. We've been playing this for a while, and and something came up. We were looking for something, and my buddy looked it up, and he's like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "I don't even think we're a full third of the way through yet." And there's like a list of like checkpoints with
Mm-hmm.
names, like chapters, I guess. And we were at 15 of 45 or something like that.
Yep.
Crazy. So yeah, but it's good. Good throwback if you like that sort of era. Dune, Doom, Duke Nukem 3D, that kind of
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh
real
yeah.
old school. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Quake,
And
Quake
wanted
feeling.
to kind of compare it to cards in
Mm.
that old school RuneScape is more of a living card game where they've basically done the WoW Classic Plus thing there where they are adding new content, but
Okay.
it doesn't get rid of old content. It's more like horizontal progression opposed to vertical, where WoW's a vertical where it like if the stuff from patch 11.1 is already irrelevant 6 months later in 11.2. Whereas anything you do in old school RuneScape never gets diminished. But it's such a long grind. So like the max skill level for things is 99, but you're at the halfway point at level 90. It takes
Right.
just as
Right.
much to get from 90 to 99 as it does to get to 1 to 90.
Yeah. 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 Yep. The
um
power of exponential growth.
yes. Yeah. So will I stick with it? Probably not. I'll probably end up just going back to WoW when because that's where I always end up. But it's been
I
a
was
fun
about to
little
say,
side adventure thing.
has that dropped the new things out, right? For a
The
while.
the pre-orders up, but the pre-patch isn't out yet. When the
Okay, so
pre-patch
it's not the content hasn't hit.
right, that's this
Yeah.
fall when we get player housing, which has been
Yeah,
something
yeah,
people have been asking for 20 years. So
yeah. I was about to say since the very beginning,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah, and
It's almost like the ability to actually wage war that
mhm.
was advertised in the launch of the game that has still never occurred.
I they have a walkthrough of the house and they've shown a bunch of gameplay for it and it just looks so much fun. You can build neighborhoods with your friends and have like weekly goals for your neighborhood to improve it. And you can put your neighborhood in your favorite zone. And I don't know, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to that. But killing some time with old school RuneScape until then. Or until friends come back.
Gotcha.
Which will probably be the pre-patch.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, old school is kind of like a living card game where WoW is more like Magic,
Gotcha.
which I don't know. They're two different things for two groups of people, and
Yeah. Or the
sometimes
same group
or
of
the
people
same
that want
people.
different things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and a lot of the WoW Classic community streamers have moved to old school RuneScape, and a lot of it's just because they are looking for that horizontal progression, and they're not looking to. What they really enjoy about it is the no loss of progress.
Right.
And as our like the main demographic that has nostalgia for old school RuneScape, it's funny they make a lot of jokes about receding hairlines and stuff. It's like, ha, already beat that boss. Um, but yeah, I think it's just an interesting time for nostalgia in MMOs and the age group that the people that grew up on the first iteration of MMOs are at now, and just what they want in an MMO. So, but this isn't an MMO card. This is a card podcast. So we took a look at the market. A couple things stood out to us. First of all, Final Fantasy play boxes are at 260.
Yeah. Play boxes. Now they're
Play
coming again
boxes, 30
in
packs,
November.
November.
Okay.
I'm guessing the wave comes. That's what I keep hearing. I'm guessing the wave is going to come with Avatar. So there'll be demand for Avatar as well, obviously, because that'll just be dropping.
Yeah.
And then how much of the Final Fantasy do we get? I don't know. Does it move it? Probably down to like maybe to 200.
Yeah, I was gonna say it won't move it a lot, is my guess.
Yeah.
Just because that's how it's been. That said, it was Mark Rosewater that was saying they basically are trying their hardest to get more to market.
Yeah.
So my question is, does that include a huge reprint? You know what I mean, as opposed to a normal reprint.
Right.
If it is a huge reprint, the prices may fall, but I'm pretty sure the market can absorb it because it's Final Fantasy, and it has proven that there is a lot of freaking demand.
Yeah. And the other thing is, I've been hearing that stores have gotten their second wave or their next wave of Tarkir Dragonstorm. So I pulled that up for play boxes to see if that's really made a difference, and it didn't. It just has keep going up. It's at 130.
Yeah, and I expect so that's like a more normal. I know they're both standard sets or whatever, but
Yeah.
I feel like that's a more normal amount, and I'm hoping they really slam the market with the Final Fantasy one, so it can be in prices that people can afford and actually enjoy the product more. Because there's just such an excess of collectors in that particular IP, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, I don't know, and plus, like, also good for the game, right? Because
Oh yeah.
it's bringing a lot of Final Fantasy fans to Magic. The more of this that's out there, the more they'll be able to draft it. The more they'll be in shops. The more they'll pick up other cards. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
if they jam the market with it, the only people that get hurt are people that are speculating, right? And it's like, yeah, that sucks as someone who speculates myself, but the
It's too
popularity
soon.
of the game ultimately makes everything worth more. So
Yeah.
so bring them
Speculation.
in,
Yeah.
bring them
Speculation's a
in.
long game, and it's
Yeah,
not been
exactly.
long yet.
Final Fantasy just came out. Let them have their product.
Yeah.
Come on, like get them hooked. Get them
Yeah.
hooked on the cardboard crack.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we saw Fusion Strike boxes in Pokemon hit cracked $1,000.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, Pokemon. So you remember my Battle Style / Vivid
Yeah. Yeah.
Voltage?
Yeah.
It doubled in price since I bought it, which was like less than 6 months ago. I can't remember, maybe 6 months ago now.
About.
Yeah, and it did sell, and I pulled it off the shelf, and the stop tape is cracked on one side, so it's split down partially
Mm-hmm.
down the length of it. So I reached out to the buyer and I was like, "Hey, I know there's not many on the market because there's only like I think 7 cases on the
Mm-hmm.
market." And I was like, I know there's not many on the market, and for some people, they want a sealed case. They're
Yeah.
not looking to open it. So here's a picture of what has happened. I can tape up the part that split so that it gets to you safely, but it's not like what typical people would think of as like a pristine sealed case anymore.
All right.
And so I was like, do you still want it? So I got a get a message back from him to determine whether I'm breaking this thing open and selling single boxes or what. Because I didn't know this was the situation. It was sitting on my shelf, and
Right.
you move
Right.
boxes
Yeah.
around. It probably had like a little split, and I put something on top of it, and it
Yeah.
popped it.
Yeah.
I don't know. When I pulled it off, I was like, oh no, what happened? So it's stuff happens. It's not a big deal, but it is like I'm not sending that to someone, because if they did buy this with 7 left and the price
Yeah.
going up as
Yeah.
fast as it is, by the time they get there, and the shipping with a full case is expensive,
Yeah.
and like there's just so many risk factors for them being upset. I'm
Yeah.
not doing it until I get confirmation that they're okay with what it is.
That's fair.
Now could be some store or someone that just wants
Or
to
rip and
crack the full case.
shipper. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
could be rip and shipper. Yeah, it could be any number of things. In which case, this is a perfectly fine deal.
Yeah.
But if it's not, then I'll just crack it and sell the single boxes, because like I said, I did not realize it was like this. I would not have listed it as a sealed case if I had known it. It was when I got it.
Yeah.
But I did something stupid and it's cracked.
And also, the other thing we noticed was more Bloomborough is coming to the market. We're back up to over 50 in quantity, pushing the price down to like 870.
Oh, so low. That's the thing I'm thinking. Like, Bloomborough wasn't that long ago, and oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, you just can't get these boxes for a reasonable price. It's not worth opening. And
No.
I know that's the typical journey. It's just the speed at which it gets to the not worth opening phase. It wasn't remember when we were doing the analysis, and it was like the Nike curve, wasn't it always like 2 years is when the curve kind of turned around?
I think it's all off for collector boxes now.
Well, that's my point.
Yeah.
Is that they've made collector boxes collectible again. Great. But it's too collectible. That's weird for me to say.
Bloomberg's been out over a year.
What was the actual release date?
August 2nd.
If it's approaching 2 years, then I accept it.
No, it's a year and a month.
A month. Yeah, see, that's the problem. It's too fast. Like, I feel like the perfect balance is, yes, you get this, but it's in a 2 to 5 year period, not a 3 month to 9 month period, which is when that happens now, right? It's not
3 months, including the pre-order time.
Pre-release, it happens. That's what we're seeing, because the speculation is like so easy. Everyone's purchasing, getting in way early, right? And so it's causing it to get out of reach of people that actually want to open it before it even comes to market, and that I feel is a mistake. And I'm a speculator, I'm a collector, I like shelf boxes, like I like all this stuff, and this is who it's for, and I'm saying it's too much now. Because it's just, if no one can open it, then the fundamental value is gone. It's like, if you know anything about money theory, right? When the dollar stopped being backed by gold, it was backed by trust. Well, when the collector boxes stop being backed by people that actually want to open it, it's just a shell game.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's where you get these speculative bubbles that implode and cause massive damage to the brand.
Yes.
You don't need to do that. It's okay to drive hype, but it doesn't have to happen that fast. Now, to be fair, it's only been a year, right? Bloomborough was one of the earlier ones of this experimentation with collector boxes, right? Yes. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 before it, but
it started in like Wilds.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, exactly.
Wilds is already over 1,100.
Exactly. We're at a year and a half, we'll call it, just to be friendly.
Yeah.
A year and a half of experimentation. Okay, I get it. You don't really know until about this time how well you did on the numbers you chose, right? Because you have to get the market to flush out. You got to see where things go. You got to look at the whole curve. And that's where they are right now. They have this chance to reevaluate. So I personally would not be surprised if we start seeing a little bit of an easing on this.
I agree.
Because it will ultimately be unhealthy. Now, the question is...
boxes will come out of closets.
Yeah, of course. But this is where it's a question mark. Do they, one, overprint again by accident because they are going to try to time this change with what they've seen of the historic data and the overall global markets? And if the stuff we're talking about in a minute, job data, et cetera, is a bad sign and things kind of slow down, does that end up hurting the demand at the same time that they increase supply, which would be a traumatic shift to the opposite direction, right? We'd get
Yeah.
back to a Innistrad
Yeah.
period, sort of thing. Crimson Veil. So I don't know, or maybe they just stick it out and wait for the economy to slow down enough to make this make sense, which I think is possible. Although we'll talk about it a little bit. I'm not so sure that's going to happen with cards. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky thing. I would not want to be Wizards economist trying to make these decisions. I'll tell you that. But yeah, I think it's too much now. The fact that things are hitting $1,000 before they're even released on standard set collector boxes is nuts.
Yeah. Well, we know one move that they're making is they're increasing MSRP.
That does not solve this problem.
No. What I'm saying is, like, that's one move, right? And
Yeah.
so we know, like, do they also increase the print run, or do they just keep the print run the same because they like the hype, but make more money off of it?
You make a good point. I think that is exactly what I'm talking about. Is it's a sign. The fact that they're tweaking MSRP, it's like we have a year and a half of data. Here's our conclusion.
And it's starting with the 2026. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So actually, I think you're dead on. I think they have done this analysis, have said there needs to be an adjustment, and they chose increase in price, probably some increase in print run too.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes and quietly, they'll do that. And then with the two combined, that should ease it up quite a bit, actually, if that is true.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Because, I mean, we have even Murders is moving. It's at 260 and Outlaws at 300.
I know. I saw that. I was like, are you kidding me?
Remember when we opened all those Outlaw boxes?
Yeah. I still actually wait. I might not have Outlaws anymore. No, I still have Outlaws on my shelf.
Yeah,
I have Murders on my shelf. I know for a fact. And I actually went back. This was the thing. I was trying to remember which one it was. It was those Outlaws and Murders.
Yeah.
I tweaked the price up because I'm like, yeah, of course they're going to move up. Like it's their time and it's absurd. This whole thing is just getting crazy. So I'm going to try to get a little bit more value before I sell. Like I'll keep tweaking it up as long as it's not, and it will spike on me and eventually I'll sell, but I'll be very happy because I'll have raised the price 4 times and got to a point where I'm like, yeah, I was happy with the first price. I'm really happy with this 5th price.
Exactly.
So, I do like selling into the bubbles. I will say I don't mind having bubbles to sell into, but yeah, it's just when the people I play the card games with who want to buy the collector boxes for the cards for their decks because they have cool cards in the collector boxes can't buy them anymore. It's like, you're missing the point. It is a game first. It's great to have a speculative asset, but you got to have the underlying value. Otherwise, you're speculating in tulip bulbs.
Yeah. But does that push the single cards higher because less is being actually opened?
Maybe. I don't know. It's a hard question to answer, especially with the modern collector box makeup.
Yeah.
Because there's so many different types of foils and showcases and, the fancy this, that, and the other. And there's so many different types. It's very hard, even box to box. Like Final Fantasy had a foil treatment. The Spider-Man will have a different foil treatment. Yep. The Edge of Eternity's had its space treatment, right? Like they have different treatments. So there's no apples to apples comparison across them and say this was a good one, a good treatment, really.
Right.
And maybe they have the data for that. Like they can actually look at a card basis and a foil basis and sort the data. I'm unable to see that through TCG players.
Right.
Thing. I think it's more about what the card does than the treatments.
I agree.
So it's very hard to say though if it does drive prices up because some cards that I don't get why they're expensive are very expensive, and some are expensive purely because of the rarity, like the neon ink style.
Oh, sure, yeah,
that sort of stuff, obviously. And what was it? The egg? Not the egg. It wasn't an egg. It was the Infinity Stone, the fancy Infinity.
Oh,
Stone.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a thing.
The egg.
It's already. People were saying it's gonna be $100,000 card. I was like, you are crazy.
I don't believe that.
Yeah. But I could. Well, it's essentially a one of one sort of thing, is what I understand. It's like super rare from what they were saying,
but not serialized.
It is not serialized. Yeah. Speaking of serialized, I was just looking at those too. Those prices keep going up.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Yeah, I wonder if like in 2 to 3 years we do see a big difference between sets with serialized and without.
Sets, probably not the sets. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Like the collector
Like you're thinking
boxes.
like the collector boxes and
Yeah.
the serialized will be worth
Yeah.
a lot more. I don't know. What was the one that had all the serialized Brothers War?
Brothers War was the first. And that's been
It's
moving.
only at 400 though,
Right,
when
but look where
everything
it
else
was at
is
the beginning of the
flying.
year.
Well, sure, yeah, it's moved up with everything else.
Yeah.
That's not upsetting or concerning. And it is over a year old now.
Well over.
Oh yeah, and this was before the print run changes too. So
Yeah.
that's the other thing
Yeah.
to take into consideration. This was part of the we have too much
Right.
period. So yeah, okay, yeah, maybe,
Because that was 3 years ago,
yeah,
almost.
maybe, because this is basically outshining your equivalents, which was like the Crimson Vow period,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
this was somewhere around there, as close to that time frame. So yes, then I think the data says yes so far, but
Yeah.
we won't really know for sure until we get a few more sets like
No.
that.
And favorite sets will break the mold like Bloomburrow, but
Always,
that don't have collector
always,
or don't have
and then
serialized.
IP serialized, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That's yet a different factor to consider.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings at 3K.
Exactly. Like that's just going to be different.
Yeah.
But it does tell you something that like the IP is probably a bigger driver than things like serialized, duh.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
serialized plus IP equals
And Spider-Man, no serialized.
yeah.
Over
There was
800
only
before.
one serialized in Final Fantasy, or were there any? Can't remember.
Yes, there were the Chocobos.
Oh right, but it was like just a few. It wasn't like it was.
77. There were 77 serialized cards in Final Fantasy.
That's it.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's so few. Yeah, so it was basically a non-consideration.
Yeah. It's like it's even less than the Aether Drift or the what was Innistrad remastered, where it's like one card of 500.
Yeah, that actually Innistrad felt like it had a lot. It felt like it was very gettable. It
Yeah.
wasn't hard to find it.
Well, there's only the one. What I was talking about is there's only one card serialized. But Innistrad Remastered
Okay.
still holding at
Interesting.
3.
Oh, damn it. Stupid. I hate the way TCG player works. Okay, Jesus. Okay, the Chocobo is a $200,000 card according to TCG player. Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is. Man, I might open a March of the Machine collector box.
That's another one. Serialized cards.
Open so much of it, and I still every time I open it, I have such a good time with it. And that's why I'm looking at the serialized cards, and I saw the Vorinclex. I'm like, that's such cool art. Like, I'd love to get that. And honestly, I've always enjoyed opening it every time I've opened it. And I don't think I've gotten a serialized card from that. Maybe I did one, but it was like a lame one.
I think you bought one.
Oh, I definitely bought serialized cards.
Yeah.
I didn't buy Vorinclex, but
no, you got the red white guy.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I bought a few. I think that were from there for my decks. Dina, I think, was in that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a case. If you want to buy a case.
Yeah, I'm halfway through selling the case. I've been slowly doing the thing where I sell it and then raise the price a bunch and then sell the next one and raise the price a bunch. And as it's ticked up, I've sold half so far. But I like opening them. They're fun to open. That's why I got it. I was like, if it doesn't sell, at least I can open it.
Fair.
Yeah. Yeah, I miss that. It feels like it's been a while since I've had a fun thing to open. I don't remember what the last thing I opened that was, but it was like, okay. It wasn't like awesome.
Yeah.
Now it's too expensive. It's not worth opening anything. So sad.
No, now I'm definitely not opening anything. Well, I am opening a Spider-Man. I am gonna open a Spider-Man.
Collector box?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That is daring. Are you sure? Why don't you just buy the singles you want? Isn't it gonna be like $7,000 by the time it gets released?
No, it might be 1,000. But no, I'm getting it from a local store, so I paid $430. 430.
Yeah, but you could sell it for 1,000. So
Right.
you're throwing $1,000 out when you could just go buy the singles you want from it.
Oh, I mean, I'm still gonna have one for the shelf.
But you can have two for the shelf. See, this is my problem. Anytime it gets over like 400, I'm like, it's not worth opening.
No,
It's just not. I'll just buy the singles I want from the set, you know?
It's a fun birthday thing.
I forgot. It's tied to your birthday
Yeah.
too. Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Yeah.
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
That makes sense for your birthday. Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you're releasing the Spider-Man set on my birthday?
My birthday? Yes, please.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Not pre-release date, but the actual release date's my actual birthday, and I think that's hilarious.
Yeah. What was that other collector box I really liked opening? It wasn't an Innistrad. It was it Ravnica remastered?
Yeah, you open a lot of that.
That one was fun too. Like, how much?
Serialized Shocklands.
Only 430. I could buy one of those. Oh wait, it's a Japanese print because everything's.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, it's a no sales. Yeah, not doing that. It's 590. Yeah, not worth it.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
Yeah.
Ugh, I'm glad I got to open that one because that one was fun.
Yeah. But yeah, it's an interesting time for sure.
Oh, it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
On to Spider-Man.
Sure. We got some new cards.
Spider-Mans.
We got the featured image of our thing today, City Pigeon, which is incredible.
Card. I love this card. So I said it last week. I'm gonna keep saying it as more cards get revealed because this is a freaking common, and it made me smile. It's right on my screen as soon as I opened my internet. I've read it up or whatever, and it was like a reveal, and I laughed. Like first thing in the morning, seeing this freaking thing, this donut pigeon and the hot dog chaser. It's so good.
Oh, that was my lunch.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's the quote on the bottom. Yeah. Oh, that was my lunch.
So it's a 1 white, 1/1 creature bird flying. When this creature leaves the battlefield, create a food token.
Perfect for blink decks.
Yeah.
Blinky food? Come on. That sounds fun.
Yep. And with all the web slinging, you can pull things back up. And so it works really well with the. Yeah.
Yep. And there's a lot of, blinky stuff out there in white. There's a lot of, I guess in this particular set, there's going to be some back to hand stuff. Which that's green white, I think.
Yeah. Or blue white.
Was it blue white? Yeah, I can't remember the exact color. Blue white's the normal blinky one. I think it's green white. Isn't it Gwyn and stuff? It's in the archetypes. Yeah, it's green white web slingy.
Green white web slingy, yeah.
Yeah. And then it could be good in a food deck, right? If there's a food matters or an artifacts matter deck. Both of those are useful. And it's a bird. Birds are seeing some hotness since that one bird they had to ban.
Mm-hmm.
The bird commander guy. So there's some
from Modern Horizon 3.
Yeah, that was a while ago. I have like 6 of those cards. I thought they were going to be awesome because everyone loved them and they're very excited and they would sell for a lot. And they banned it. They all went to 0. Not quite 0, but it was all sorts of art treatments for it too.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Nadu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nadu.
But then there's also Imposter Syndrome, which is the meme of Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man, and the other Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man, saying, "I'm the real Spider-Man." No, I'm the real Spider-Man. 4 and 2 blue enchantment. Whenever a non-token creature you control deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of it, except it isn't legendary.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
A little expensive, but it's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. Copy your legendaries is pretty nice.
Pretty nice. But we got the archetypes, which is super exciting. We got the first one we already talked about, web slinging, which is green white. There's only 5, which I really like for this pick 2 learn to draft with friends kind of environment that they're building. Peter Parker and other spider heroes repeatedly swing in to save the day, returning to your hand and entering again for bonus benefits. Seems pretty good.
I don't know if I like that. Is that so? I haven't looked at the cards. Do you know? Is there a mechanic that gets them back out for free, or is this you're paying again and again and again for the same thing? Because that becomes a drag if that's the reality.
I think you are paying again.
That seems rough. That seems really hard in a draft format.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you'll be doing it a couple times a game, not the whole game.
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
And then we got red green in large spells. Be dramatic and bombastic with Miles and Gwen. Cast spells with mana value 4 or greater and live large while your enemies tremble.
Not sure what that actually means.
Usually cards with like 4 or greater. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, matters kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I get that part, but why would they make your? I guess just because they're large.
I guess so.
Enemies tremble.
I guess so.
That
Then we
could
have
be fun.
black red mayhem. Discard mayhem cards and play them from your graveyard. Classic baddies like Green Goblin and Carnage laugh in the face of defeat.
That seems fun and fast.
Mm-hmm. And then we got villains connive, Vulture, Mysterio, and other villains play better together, gaining value from the graveyard and the connive mechanic.
Do you remember connive? What is that?
I do not. Let me Google it real quick.
Yeah, I feel like it's something like look at the top card and you can keep it or throw it in your graveyard or something like that.
So have a creature connive, draw a card, then discard a card. If you discarded a non-land card, put a +1 counter on it.
Yeah, that's real good.
And then we have modified. Doc Ock, upgrade Doc Ock and your other scientific geniuses with counters, auras, and equipment to push the boundaries.
Blue, white, Voltron.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Probably a lot of creature enchantments
Mm-hmm.
and auras.
Well, and the equipment, right?
Equipment too, yeah. Yeah. I like it. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, I hope it's not quite as easy as Bloomborough from a, just get all the mice, sort of draft experience, but but easy. I want it to be easy because this is like supposed to be an intro product. I just
probably like Foundations.
Too easy. Yeah. Foundation seems like a good target if that's where they hit.
Yeah. It's a smaller set than Foundations, obviously, but much smaller. But
yeah. Well, that also helps for like once you understand it, you'll be good at it relatively quickly because it's a small set.
Yeah, and higher chances for more consistent decks.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's cool. That'll be fun to try.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Are you happy that they are revealing more Spider-Man cards? Because I've noticed over the past week or so, they've been revealing quite a few.
Yeah, because spoiler season like officially started.
Is there a pre-spoiler season? Like I don't understand.
There's pre-spoilers now, and then there's like actual spoilers.
Got it.
And that started last Friday.
Gave up on keeping up with this.
Yeah, it started last Friday, so we should have most of the cards at this point.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, because it's usually over a big weekend reveal, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. The one that cycles stuff in the graveyard, mayhem costs.
Yeah.
You can pay from the graveyard for cheaper typically. If you discarded this turn, which that mechanic says discard. So yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
That's cool. Yeah, it looks like it'll be fun.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I have to play the pigeon.
Something with white.
It's so fun. I love that card.
Pack one, pick one.
Oh man, did you see this copy token that's doing the meme too?
No.
Look at this.
Oh, that's fun.
That's pretty good. I like that.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good set. I have to say, I was a little skeptical. Spider-Man's not my thing, but they pulled it off. They made the tongue-in-cheek comic book, humor in very well. They made the art look good, both with a little grittier look than you usually see in Magic, and some of the more fun and funny stuff, which is great to have that combo or that mixture.
Oh yeah,
and it all feels self-consistent, very Spider-Man-esque. I guess because Spider-Man's such a an IP that's been around for so long and everyone's familiar with it between the movies and the cartoons and
Yeah.
the shows and the this and that. Like some Spider-Man fits everyone, right? Like someone has a feel about a Spider-Man.
Oh,
Um,
sure.
so it kind of hits people no matter what your take is on it. But yeah, it's I am more excited for it than I thought I'd be.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to it. Not as hyped about Avatar, but that wasn't my thing.
Yeah, I think that will do fine. I'm a
No,
little
it'll do great.
indifferent
Yeah.
personally, but I was kind of indifferent about Spider-Man, so let's see where it lands.
Yeah.
Actually, so I'm indifferent except for that freaking bending tech. Like, I think that
Oh,
mechanic's
yeah.
gonna break stuff. Like, I think I'm gonna
That's
get
yeah.
hyped on actual cards. I'll be like, I want
Yeah.
that card.
I can see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't really care about the art or what's happening in the story. I want that card because that mechanic is busted.
Yeah. I think that's going to be Avatar.
Yeah,
But,
cool.
yeah.
Anything else?
Just economicals.
All right, on to the lovely news of the day. I swear, guys, if I had good pieces, I would. I try when I can. All right, so jobs data came out. It was not good. The openings fell and unemployment rose. Now, minor rise in unemployment, so it wasn't like a huge thing. Again, we haven't hit that 300K number, which is where you start seeing actual changes in the way the economy works and, spiraling down sort of thing. So we haven't hit that tipping point yet, but the openings fell, meaning more people are looking for jobs than there are jobs, which is bad for pay raises and stuff like that, right? Like if you're desperate to keep your job, you don't ask for a pay raise. If you're trying to get a new job, you'll accept lower pay because it's hard to find one, that sort of thing. So it does have a negative impact on people's ability to buy stuff. So think about that with cards. People struggling to get a job or uncertain in their job security, less likely to spend on cards. So there's a reduction in demand. I think this is minor though, when it comes to cards impact. It might impact other things, but like travel and more expensive stuff. But I think for cards it will be a minor impact. ADP, similar numbers came out. 22K new jobs, lower than expected by quite a bit. I think it was like 3x. I think they wanted something like 90 or something like that. It was what they expected, and it was only 22K. This is bad, but not a full picture. We talked about this last time. ADP came out with an unexpectedly low number. They only deal with people that data comes through them, so that's not everything. Government jobs don't count, which is, I think, a big chunk of our economy. I want to say like 10% of employment's through the government, and ADP doesn't have access to those numbers. And there's some other places where they just don't use ADP, so it's just not that common to see it in there. So it's not a full picture, but it is a picture of a good chunk of the economy. And it is lower than expected, so it's just based on trend and same sort of stuff. If it's the same set of data each time and it's lower than expected, that's a bad news. Primarily, hiring is happening in healthcare. So if you're looking for a new career, healthcare seems to be a good place to find a foothold because that is where most of the job growth is happening right now in the economy. 80% drop in small item shipping. So there's this rule that was in place that allowed for anything under, I think it was $600 to be shipped without duty, right? Without tariffs. Or not tariffs. Tariffs. Yeah. So even if there's a tariff, if you're, a mom and pop shop, if you're, just buying something online, it could get shipped to you from China directly and no tariff because you're just buying a single thing. Which, by the way, there's a lot of weirdness to the fact that that's even possible because just the chain of value and the fact that you can go through a customs and have international purchases and stuff. It's kind of crazy to think that we don't have some sort of controls on that because the amount of waste for buying a T-shirt from China with just one T-shirt,
Right.
like it just seems crazy because you get economies of scale, so you become more efficient when you're shipping a whole container. But when you're just shipping one shirt, like that seems really bad. Now, granted, I know this all rolls up in ways where it's like, 10,000 shirts that are one shirt are put together and that's how it gets there. But it's still crazy that that exists. But anyways, point being, used to be that was free of the duties. Now it is not. And so what's happened in the last month is an 80% drop in small item shipping, international shipping. Crazy. That changes like how the post office works. When it's that big of a shift, it like they're like, oh wait,
Yeah.
Like we just lost a chunk of the postal service functionality, and like there's all sorts of weird externalities for that one. So that's a weird one. Big shift, big number shift. So it's important to note. Now, will this have an impact on the economy as a whole? Probably not. Like, I think this is still a small portion of the economy, but it does change things. And your Etsy shops and stuff, the people that have those side gigs, they're all
Oh,
done for with
definitely.
this. Yeah, anyone that's doing stuff that's international, this kills them. They basically are going to have to pay duties on their entire shop, and they're just not set up. Their economics don't make sense in this situation. So they will probably mostly die, and nothing is indicating this is going to change. Um, if it's handmade though and locally, then it will actually be successful, which I guess is kind of the goal, right? The whole point of putting these tariffs is to make stuff here more. So I
Yeah.
guess if you do make your
But
own
that takes
whatever, which
time.
it does, but not for like Etsy shops. Like Etsy
No,
shops
no.
are smaller, so I don't know. I don't know enough about it, but any ones that are reselling like plastic junk from overseas now can't, so they need to sell stuff from here, so they'll pivot and find handmade stuff here or something. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure how that will work, but it does have an impact on the smaller shops.
Yeah.
Um, interest rate drops expected. This is a celebration in a lot of financial circles. Basically, jobs data is bad. Fed's job is to monitor both jobs and inflation. It's a dual mandate. You've probably heard that before. If jobs are bad, then there's a higher probability they lower interest rates in an attempt to help boost the economy. That is what the prediction markets are saying. Now they're starting to question whether it's going to be 50 basis points instead of 25. That's a much faster and more aggressive move. I doubt that personally, but the odds are increasing with the bad jobs data. A lot of Wall Street, a lot of finance is celebrating this. I think you mentioned mortgage people were as well.
Yeah. Yeah, they're
The idea
excited.
is that, yeah, low interest rates are better for buying houses, right? Which is
But
true.
yeah, it gives everyone equal more buying power.
Yes.
What it really does, though, because it just evens the playing field, it pushes prices up on houses.
Yep. Yep.
But
That's where I was going next.
yeah, but at the same time, it brings more buyers into the market.
Which is good right now because
Yeah,
my understanding is that market has basically inverted and sales is like the stock on the market is at record levels for like a long time.
yeah, and we're also now back into housing being the least affordable for the average American in history.
Yep.
It
So
was in '08. Now it's very different than '08. A lot of things are this is not '08, but it is uh I saw a graph and basically it was a peak in '08 of unaffordability in housing,
mhm,
and then it went all the way down and then has been then shot back up during this time and
post
it
COVID
post COVID era. And now it went even higher in the unaffordability chart.
index.
Um,
Yeah. Okay.
so it is a rough time to buy a house right now.
Agreed. So that is a good thing for house sales and purchases because it makes it cheaper to buy and easier
But
to
we're also
sell.
entering more difficult, a time where less people are buying because the school season's already started.
Yeah.
So families aren't going to be moving. So that just takes a whole demographic out of uh, the buyer's market just
Yeah.
for the time of year, essentially.
And the other thing that comes into play here, right, is if this drop, well, it impacts more than just one thing, right? The interest rates, the housing is the first thing and the big thing that it impacts pretty quickly, from my understanding. But what happens here is that borrowing becomes cheaper again, and then you get the money flowing around, which means things like speculative assets start to go up. Not
Yeah.
immediately. This
Yeah.
is it takes a while. So the rates have to drop first. They have to come down from, I don't know, what is the base rate right now? Like 4? I don't know what it is. It's something 3.5, I think. So it's got to drop down to near zero. And then as that becomes true, then it's harder to make money on simple things like bonds, etc. So money will start moving away from those into places with higher returns, seeking a better return. And that means they'll get into more speculative things. So should this happen, so this is a long-term thing, but should the interest rates drop over time, say over the next year, it gets down to like 2, um, and money starts moving around and say like there's more stability in the economy, the jobs sort of get even or whatever, then over that period, you'll start to see, assets inflate that are speculative. So, for purposes of cardboard, that could be a positive, but it will take a while for that to happen. It's not like the second interest rates drops by 50 basis points, suddenly everyone starts spending on speculative assets. That's not how it
Right.
works.
Right.
It takes a while for it to cycle in and out. Took
And
a
we're
while to
already in
cycle
a bull
out.
market.
Well, that's what I'm actually curious how this will play out. So jobs will be a more immediate effect on cardboard, right?
Yeah.
Say we end up with real low jobs, like unemployment starts going up, we get to that like kind of bad spiral of unemployment. So we'll have this like end of year, early next year weakness in the general economy, i.e., not enough extra money to buy cards. So you'll start seeing a reduction from this bubble, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then just as that happens, assuming the interest rates are being cut during that whole period, which good management would say it will be, right? That's why the prediction markets are saying it's going to happen. Um, so that cut keeps happening, and then by the end of that down trough of joblessness, we are now at a kind of a record low or a new low for interest rates. Say it's down to like 2% or whatever. I doubt we'll get to zero because that was a bad idea. I think everyone agrees that it was too low for too long. Understood why it happened at the time because we were having a real hard time getting any value increase in our economy, and that was one way to help.
Right.
But it has all sorts of negative impacts that we've seen. So, anyways, it gets down low, and then over the next 6 months after it's hit its low, you start to see inflation in pricing of speculative assets because the cash is looking for a place for a return. So think of it that way. So end of next year, I'm thinking you'll start another bubble, an asset bubble, assuming what I just described is what happens.
Right.
Now, there's a lot of ifs and what ifs and whatever that could happen between now and then that could change that direction. But I think it's a very reasonable model, and I think it's what most people are suspecting that we're seeing weakness in the economy. Overall, things are starting to stagnate a little bit, slow down, jobs, blah blah blah. Interest rates need to come down to reflect that weaker economy and help stabilize it. If it's done right, we'll have minimal job losses, which would be ideal, and then we'll get back to an upward trajectory on the economy as a whole. Just as people are starting to feel stable in their jobs again, their pay is rising again theoretically, the interest rates being low will have now lit the fire under the rocket to get things moving back up, and then you'll start seeing inflationary pressures. Now, the down part is the tariffs and the immigration enforcement. It's going to cause inflation in the meantime. Which honestly, if you're already in an inflationary environment, when all this starts to go off, you create a stagflation risk, which we've talked about, and it means that things that are speculative may end up going up. This is where stagflation is so tricky. I know that things that are directly impacted by immigration, such as food prices, are likely to go up because you don't have the pickers, the people
Right.
at the farms that pick
Right.
it. And so there's I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's been tons of news about farmers in
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas and
Yeah.
Wisconsin, whatever, basically in massive trouble. Like they're not going to be able to sell because one, the tariffs mean China stopped buying, was it like soy product, corn product, and something else, major industries. And so the farmers have these crops ready and no one to buy. So the prices are dropping because there's no one interested in buying, which means they can't survive. And so they're going bankrupt. And then on the other side of it, those that do have crops that are in demand and they haven't, had any issues with, they don't have the labor because the immigration labor
Mm-hmm.
was a key factor for that. And so they're not likely to be able to get it to market. And I think it was tomatoes was the main one, but I think it was also citrus fruits, oranges and stuff, I think were the other one.
Okay.
Anyways, I don't remember the exact industries, but it was different types of food. So some food prices drop, crater, some food spiking. Like it creates a very chaotic and difficult to predict market. And basically anything you say will be true for parts and false for other parts, right?
Yeah.
So when that happens, it does make dropping interest rates another kind of variable in the complex mesh there. And so what does that end up looking like when food prices of some things are spiking, other things are dropping, and then you hit this economic kind of downturn with employment, and then you have the interest rates slowly ticking down to a point where money starts sloshing around again. Like it changes the way things work, and we get into another similar to 2020 chaotic environment. Unfortunately, this one's more manufactured by us in policy rather than a worldwide pandemic that just shuts down parts of the economy, kind of arbitrarily. But the chaos of those times seem like they are on the horizon once again. And I'm not sure there's much you can do about it at this point, even if Trump reversed like all the tariff policies. If he just like went back to like, let's just copy Biden's economy and just like did it exactly the same policies, it wouldn't fix it at all because there's so much uncertainty that's been introduced. Even if the policies were all reversed, no one's really willing to get back into bed with America, from a trade perspective. China moved to Brazil. They're like, we'll just get this stuff from Brazil. We don't need it from America. And they're not going to change their mind on that, unless we offer them some sort of good deal. Tricky times.
Things go up, things go down.
They sure do. Cardboard's still going up, though.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's crazy. Unprecedented times.
Aren't they always?
So, by definition, would regular times be unprecedented at this point?
It is now. It's what I mean. It's always unprecedented. Is it unprecedented? I feel like that's our entire generation's life. It's like unprecedented X, Y, and Z. And it's like, that's literally my whole life. It's been unprecedented. So I think it's just the precedent.
It's
unprecedented.
Yeah. Unprecedented for who?
Yeah, for everyone but us.
Yeah. Glorious thing. Cool. Well, anything else before we call this a podcast?
Nope, that's all I got. Looking forward to Spider-Man.
Me too. Well, if the world's still spinning next week, we'll catch you guys later.
Have a good one.